in.
Come on out, y'all.
All right, y'all. I'm going to start clicking stuff because that may not even been recorded right there anyway.
Good.
So
It could
whatever.
be. It could be or it could not be.
Let's just go ahead and cut to the chase here. We'll go right to the quad view, you guys. All right, today, you know who we have in the house? Derek
What's up,
Townsend.
y'all?
He's famous.
Good evening, everybody.
He's famous in our videos, at least, anyway. And we have the DJ Dankarelli.
Yeah, the Cinderella mouse named version of a DJ.
Perfect. Perfect.
Dankarelli, Dankarelli, you can do it, Dankarelli.
Oh, you're so good, Dankarelli.
Oh, wash the dishes. Spin the records.
Spin me records.
You can do it, Dankarelli.
Okay.
No, I never heard of that. I don't know what you're talking about.
What is it today? What are we doing today? Let's see. What do we got going on, Dan?
Well, I'm going to cover a Disney princess song using my own name. That's item
A
A.
whole new world, hopefully.
Check that off the list. No, it was Dankarelli.
Oh, Dankarelli.
That was you. You did that, Billy.
We already did that.
You done did that already. And secondly, we're going to talk about things that we have to deal with whenever we're using our things. Specifically, things pertaining to how to connect things to other things and why those things can work or not work.
Aha.
Things.
So if you don't turn your shit on, it's not going to work.
Yeah, if you can't turn your shit on, and if you don't know how to turn it off after you're done with it, that's also kind of stupid. So
Right.
we try to keep you from being as stupid as you are.
So there were two things in our workflow that were stopping us from creating the stream that we wanted to, and
Or knowing anything about anything.
or knowing anything
no.
about anything. We don't know
Right,
anything about anything. We can't even turn our shit on, people, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, I had to configure the Wi-Fi plug. So actually, I didn't know anything about anything when I was doing it. Just the same as I always don't.
It's learning. We learn.
Right.
But then I
Trial.
start doing it, and then I do it.
And then somehow it happens.
Like
Trial by
no one
fire.
trained me, but
Huh.
I do it.
The internet can train you.
The internet trains me sometimes. Sometimes
watch
the
YouTubes.
YouTubes.
We watch our Twitches out there do
Yeah,
things.
the YouTubes and the
Twitch and
Twitches.
hop.
Thank you. By the way, welcome all you YouTubulation and you Twitch Master Flex.
Twitch
Oh, yeah.
face.
Yeah.
All you to the Infinity Times Infinity Studios weekly webcast stream. Not yet to be a podcast, but maybe soon.
Don't
Maybe
cross the
soon.
streams.
Perhaps soon to be a podcast. So, yeah, as Philly said, we're going to talk about stuff about how to put all this shit together. Sometimes it doesn't quite cooperate exactly how you want it. For example, the first thing we're talking about here is that the ATEM has no power button. So the way that most people are dealing with that is just unplugging the power supply from the back of it whenever they're done.
Right.
So the issue with that is that you don't really want to do that. Generally, you want to unplug it from the plug side because when you're unplugging the barrel connector from the back of it, it's like the charge is hitting it all at once or something like that. So it could arc and fuck your stuff up
Right.
more likely whenever you're doing shit that way.
So when the penis is going into the vajayjay with the wall
It's
plug
go-
inserted, it's gonna do a super shot, like
right.
like as
She
if
like
Superman
this
was
and you
doing-
like this, okay?
All
Then you
over.
go like this.
It's go in and then boom. Okay.
Boom.
A mess.
Okay?
So
So yeah, there's a way around that, of course, which is by using a power supply that can turn on and off. So the simplest iteration of that would be just buying a simple power strip with a switch that you switch on and off. But
power switch, people.
a switch on a power strip. But then that switches off all the plugs on that power strip.
Yeah. What if you don't want all of the plugs switched off?
So what if you don't want all the switches? What if you want some USB plugs on your
Right.
shit and you want them to also either be on or off, irrespective of those power plugs? 3 of them, to be precise. And also, what if you want to be able to control it from anywhere, not just right next to it?
Ah.
Huh?
Is there a solution?
I don't know. Have you ever heard?
I like where you're going.
Have you heard of these things, my friend?
I like where you're going with this here.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been.
So if you have the ATEM Mini and you've just been tearing the wires out of the wall every time you turn it off.
Yeah, that's probably not how to do it.
Yeah, that's how you don't do
That's
it.
how that's how I don't do it.
You don't
It could
just
be-
grab it and then tear the wires off.
Some
Okay.
people might. That might be how some people do it.
One person has done that at least.
There's got to be at least one triggered person out there that
Yeah.
just like
Shit.
Yeah,
smashed it.
I could see someone breaking in. You know, if you do that, you're out quite a chunk. So
Yeah.
that's the thing that you probably don't want to do.
It's true. You probably quit streaming altogether is what happened, you know. You're just like, I'm done. I'm
Caught
done
your
streaming
stream on
it
fire.
forever.
Well, you definitely need something else to be able to stream. You know, you wouldn't be able to without getting some way to do it again. Maybe you could buy a capture card, and then you'd have at least one camera to stream with.
Right.
We're a little beyond that here at the studios.
It's gone
so-
way beyond that.
So the thing is, what I've done here, rather than beat around the bush anymore about it, is I have procured a smart power strip, which really just means that I can use my phone along with an app to turn individual outlets on the strip on and off. It's made by GoSund, very popular company in somewhere else that I don't know. Probably I don't. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe it's some random.
They're
shit.
probably Oriental.
It could be. My guess is
Or
that
Canadian.
it might be from our friends in the east.
East Coast.
The east.
The
Or maybe
What
even
about-
farther.
What about Third Coast?
Yeah.
It could be from here, Third Coast,
Maybe
right?
maybe
Brazil.
Go Sun, the Texas
Brazil.
smart
Yeah.
power strip company. Yeah, I don't think so. Probably not.
Okay.
But anyway, it's not terribly expensive, really. I think it was $30 compared to 25-ish for one that's not smart. So,
Dude,
I mean,
That's-
Yeah.
why not? Why wouldn't you do that?
It's nice to have that additional control over it, over doing it manually.
Right.
yeah, we have other smart lights and stuff here, and so it would be nice, I think, to be able to do something to integrate it into it.
Yeah,
So
right.
that's the only thing that's kind of maybe remiss in terms of the way I've configured things, but just using the GoSund app has worked well. Just click and click again.
Where
and
did you get this particular device?
Probably Amazon.
Yeah.
I'll provide an affiliate link
Yeah.
Indeed.
down below, so check it out.
So, check out that link. What's cool about this is that it's all, you see like a little power strip on your phone that has little pictures that light up whenever you select that outlet, which is
Yeah.
cool. Like,
Yep,
The
pictures
feedback.
of the 3 outlets, and it goes gray, and then it lights up whenever you turn it on. So, graphically, it's quite evident when it's on or off, and it works like a charm.
so basically, Dan is gonna go like, he'll just have his phone like Predator, and then he'll just be able to change everything like God mode in the studio. It'll be nuts.
Launch some rockets.
I'll have like arms full of like tablets and phones.
Wearable tech.
Right.
I'll have the one tablet that I'm already watching the stream on a tablet up here, as I probably have showed you on camera several times now. But
Right.
also, there's that tablet over there. So
You can put that on your chest.
Twin tablets.
Look at this.
put that in your pipe and smoke it. So then another tablet or laptop could be used to control this Behringer remotely. And yet another computer will be used over there, and that Philly's in front of, to record all of the 32 inputs of this into a computer with USB on the card, the sound card that's in it.
32 channels gives you a lot of options.
Yeah, it's going to give us a good number.
Yeah, which means like we can have like person whistling on one end and then like the drums on the other end? Like
Yeah, we'll have
All 32 used.
all 32
not
channels.
just whistling Dixie, right? Yeah. So already we've got like 26 channels in the other room from the Apollos. So add 32 more to that, you're looking at high 50s,
Yeah.
60 something.
56, I guess.
So,
Yeah.
the whole marching band,
Yeah. I
Um,
mean,
a whole choir.
if we had like,
Yeah, every single one of them.
if we had a drumming competition, you know, and we had several drummers who all needed to be mic'd at once,
Ooh,
we could maybe need 58 mics.
drummers.
Make them drum
Right.
in unison.
Lots of drummers. How about a drum circle?
A drummer
people?
uses a dozen mics, so that's only 4
Yeah,
drummers. You know,
right.
we'd be out. We'd
Yeah.
need more inputs if we had more than 4 drummers in our
that'd
drum
be
off.
insane.
Yeah.
But you know, we wouldn't. It's foolishness.
All right, put it in the comments. You want to see a drum off with 50 mics being used at
Dun,
once?
dun, dun.
Ah,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
might do it. You know, we
Yeah.
might do it.
People drum, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of people drumming here in our beautiful city. So, Derek, for example, is sitting at drums here
Indeed.
in your
Playing them.
quadrant 3. So, and there's another drum set behind him. So you know we're drumming it up around here, and
Sure.
that theme continues throughout the rest of the civilized world in this town.
Yeah, man, everybody's into music here.
Right.
Yeah, and in particular, you know, you gotta have a drum set in your home studio. You know, your
Indeed.
Austin kitschy home studio. So
Especially with retaining, like, insulated walls around it. It's quite nice.
So you know, we're trying to get that vibe going here, while at the same time providing something that's a little bit more involved and also more advanced and more capable as a result of that involvement. And you know, in the end, I can't knock guys running their own home studio. That's cool. I did it for a number of years, but this is on another level. You know,
This is this is
We have
infinity
the
times
type of-
the infinity level.
we have
okay?
the type of conversion here that you know, Pro Tools HD is the only thing that can touch it.
Yeah.
And essentially all that means is that we have professional level inputs and preamps and stuff, and as long as I can do anything that resembles anything professional, then we should have some professional quality outcomes.
Professionals!
We're professionally trained idiots.
I have no professionalism, so that will be lacking, certainly. And, you know, Derek's our professional pussy.
Oh
Pussy
yeah,
professional.
he has a PhD in pussy, guys.
That's that pussy hitting degree. You know what I'm saying? So,
PhD.
so,
So
you know, we don't know everything about everything.
we're at a high level at certain things.
We're learning,
okay?
and you know, this is the kind of things that we're doing to learn. So that's why we bring you along with us on the journey.
It's good to learn, people.
What will we create? You know, with all of this stuff, like
Right. As long as it'll allow us to.
right.
So, item 1 on the list for today was to talk about that ATEM power. And that is a big thing. Everybody out there who's got an ATEM Mini, ATEM Mini Pro, ATEM Mini Pro Iso, all of you have no power switch, as you all know. So
Right.
I think a thing to do would be to get a smart power strip, guys, and check out the one, as I said in the description. Now, moving on to item 2, which is also in your quad view there, is the GoPro is the overhead shot there. It's dark as fuck.
It's dark
So,
because GoPros like have tiny sensors and
well, it's also because it reminds me of a certain thing to talk about today,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is the GoPro Pro section of the GoPro app has been removed. So you no longer can set your max ISO with the app remotely.
you are no longer pro in GoPro's eyes. Okay.
Wow.
So they took that
your
away.
proness has been removed
That's
out there
significant.
in GoPro userland. So if you wanted that tough titty, said the kitty.
Yeah.
But you can
What's
still
the
set that. You
Fucking
can still set that in the
interference.
camera, right?
all that.
You can still
about-
set the ISO on the camera, right?
Of course,
But
yeah,
that-
it's not gone away. The functionality is there in the camera,
Right.
but the functionality used to exist accessible through the app as well.
Right. Why would they take that away from
It
people?
was shocking to me the other day. I went to the app and I was like looking around for I think it's called Pro Capture mode or something like that, but it's not even in there anymore. And then I would go to the GoPro website and it's like, okay, it's the ISO adjustment and the other Pro Capture features have been removed from the app, the GoPro app.
Well,
And they provide you with a couple of like alternate things to do.
yeah.
One of which is to control your GoPro with the GoPro remote, which is a particular
Right.
device they created. And it's at that point, the device probably allows you to have access to the ISO. So they're
Right.
trying to shill some additional fucking hardware.
Yep.
But in addition to that, they also created this other thing where you make a code for a code reader. You know, what do you call those?
QR code.
QR code. It's basically a QR code designer that you enter a sequence of numbers and letters and stuff into,
Right.
symbols, and then it makes a QR code, and then you show it to the GoPro,
Okay.
and then that will determine the settings that it uses.
Oh wow. Okay.
So we'll be testing that probably in future streams,
right.
showing how that works. But that has to do with the way that they have chosen to replace the features that were already in the app with some other shit that's a lot.
Well, this is also the GoPro Hero 5. I don't know
yeah, the
about
thing is
the
old.
newest one, the 9 or the 8.
Yeah,
or-
it says something about something else you can do with the 8 and the 9. I think the remote only works with the 8 and the 9.
Oh,
So
okay.
that GoPro remote way of dealing with the ISO would only work if you had the 7, 8, or 9 or whatnot anyway.
Huh.
So
That's
yeah,
disappointing, GoPro.
my
Why
old
would you take
5
that away from us?
My old 5 is hurting.
Yeah.
But, you know, she looks good overall.
I think
If I turn the ring light up over there, it'll probably look just about the same as the other
So
shots.
should we try some adjustments on the fly?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go
Take a
in
look
there
at
because the
adjustments of
ATEM's in
what?
there. The
Like your
GoPro's
little
over
ring
there.
light in there.
May as well go in there. We always like to move around a little bit.
We're mobile.
Yeah, Billy has the tablet so we can see what the ring light difference would look like. First off, the screen keeps turning off and that lights it up some.
Oh,
So I
illumination.
touched the screen to check the first
Okay,
part of
let's
the
look at it.
illumination.
Yeah.
it is brighter.
So already
it's a little better.
That's brightening it up, right? Then after that, each knock of the ring light adds something. So check this first knock out.
Oh yeah.
Then you can start to see the tables
Uh-huh.
and everything's quite defined.
That's cool.
It's
Yeah,
still
that's
a
way
dark
better.
shot
right?
overall.
Yeah. it's
Still
clear.
dark.
Still a
It's
dark
clear.
shot overall, but the piano keys are already quite white,
Yeah.
Right.
They stand out.
you know?
Let me.
And then
I'm gonna
one
throw
more.
that into the
One,
program.
okay, and then it wasn't in the quad already? I think it was already
It was in the quad. I
It's in
wanted
the-
to throw it in the program so people
Cool.
could see it better.
Cool. Yeah, and then after that, you have one more knock, which will basically show all of the tables.
Nice. That.
the
There you
shot.
go. You do have to add some light. This is a ring light.
It's a little too much light. And we also can do the remote. So if we do less ring and more remote, go over there and grab that remote for us, Billy. And
This little guy
turn
in
the
white
ring
one?
just up one from the lowest.
This
Thank
guy?
you, sir. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Because then we can do half room and half ring and see how that adds things. Because that adds table with each knock as well.
The ambient goes up.
Right?
Oh
So,
yeah, that looks good.
Is this one in program completely right now?
Yeah.
Cool. So they can kind of see the amount of noise probably present in these tables.
Oh yeah, especially in the dark areas and whatnot.
Right. So with each increase, the noise also kind of goes down. So now the room has been increased like 20% or so. And we've only done the one knock on the ring. Really, the ring probably could go back down at this point.
Try it. Yeah, so sit back.
See, it went
Now it
down
looks
one.
like flatter light. The ring
Yeah.
is more
Yeah.
of a focus, you know.
But the
whereas-
background items are more prominent, like the tables.
Right. And then now, if you were to do another knock on the ambient, then the tables really come into view. So maybe one knock up on the ring, and then the 2 knocks on the ambient. Hey, how about that?
That's nice.
Let's see how many knocks down. Yeah, so that was actually 3 up on the ambient. It's not terribly realistic, but I think we always go at least 1 up for the stream because the other cameras benefit so much by it.
Right. The other cameras are so bright.
So
I mean,
2 up would be like that.
I'm gonna go to the quad.
Yeah, that's interesting. That actually doesn't really have the kind of noise that it had when it was dark.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still probably pretty noisy for the program.
Yeah.
It doesn't match the other shots at all. Let's see. See, compared to these, I mean,
Yeah.
that
Those are
matches
totally
like
bright. Yeah.
like pretty well, you know. All
So
these other ones
66
match.
and the A7
There's the
S3.
A7 down the pipe shot.
That's a dope shot.
So
for sure.
this one over
Actually
the
see us in
overhead.
that one.
By comparison, you know, it's dark. It's a
Yeah,
dark
for
shot,
sure.
but
But
if
it's
what
for
we're doing is playing our
playing keys.
hands on the piano here, I mean, we don't need it to be a bright ass shot.
Yeah.
The only problem is that we know that in YouTube, our compression algorithm does not like dark quadrants. We always
Right.
get more artifacts in the dark quadrant.
Right. I feel like that their algorithm wants just like everything to be like evenly lit, exposure wise.
If they all
possible.
don't match even,
Yeah.
whatever one is darker always has more noise on it.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
pixel.
The algorithm picks on it. And it's
Yeah.
because it's a measure of the brightest and darkest, you know, the dynamic range. A segue into future casts.
Yeah.
So one of you
Segway.
most observant viewers might notice that we often describe how either audio or video is edited or processed or thought about while we're setting up. And dynamic range is one of those concepts that has a exact definition in both audio and in video. And in video it refers to the distance between the darkest and lightest spot in your exposure, and in audio it's the quietest and loudest sound. So they're quite similar.
Right.
But the reason why that's foreshadowing is because we intend to bring to you viewers a series in which we describe all of these things in great detail.
Yeah, we can talk about dynamic range and also show you guys different clips on us testing our cameras and things like that. We have the A7S III here, which is going to be dope. And then we can do the same with audio, you know, like how quiet something can go to, you know, as loud as we could go without
See if we can
messing things up.
perceive a noise floor, for example.
Right.
Because we can hear hiss. One of the things that always happens is I can hear in the monitoring for the mixer more noise than what comes out in the stream in YouTube and Twitch
Right.
and Mixer, when RIP to Mixer, when Mixer was around.
Yeah. RIP mixer.
We're thinking about incorporating a third stream still for you folks who are wanting us to triple stream it again. I think that we might go with Instagram is what I was thinking lately.
So IGTV, it's usually like, I don't know like how their live streams work, but we can look into it.
I don't either, but I have seen Steve Aoki and some others
do some live
start a
streams on
live
that?
stream,
Okay, cool.
and I'm notified of it in the gram.
Right.
So I think that is going to be maybe our third leg at some point.
That's cool. Yeah, we can do that.
We have triple stream potential with restream.io.
Right.
So now we're showing you exactly what we mean by various, what did you call it in the title?
Workflows.
Workflow
Yeah,
concepts
exactly.
or something. And what I wanted to call it was like issues with configuration of
Yeah.
your streaming devices. Because what we have here is essentially two streaming platforms that we're using within each other as layers, not both to stream with, but rather one as a switcher to add into the other's inputs.
Right. So that makes things pretty complicated to where like we have Slingstudio, we have the ATEM, and then we have all of this audio gear and all of these cameras to think about workflow issues, you know?
And we have inputs from each of the two now that we could use, but we have to fuck with it inside this tablet.
Right.
So it's cool because, you know, this ATEM has an in from the mixer in here. Well, you know, the virtual mixer, the hardware. It has an in from the hardware from in here. So that means that all the microphones that we connect to all this shit can be put into our stream.
Right.
And out there, we have an 1/8 inch going to the Slingstudio hub,
Yeah.
which is the input from all of the inputs out there.
Right.
So another future stream that we have, speaking of segue and foreshadowing,
Yeah.
is the addition to that X32 compact out there that brings to life the full 32 input channels potential of the unit and integrates further the systems that we have here in terms of the UAD system in here with the Apollo ecosystem and the Behringer X32 shit out there.
Right. So what you're saying is that this shit's out of control, man. This is
Both
crazy.
the audios and the videos is going nutsos.
Can you change it to the A7S3?
It's OOC. It's OOC.
I love seeing the A7S series in the program. It's just like so.
That's
awesome.
like overexposed now. It's
Yeah.
washing out in the room out there because it's so much brighter.
Yeah, it's a lot brighter because Dan actually turned the lights up
Let's see if we
for the
can get
GoPro.
Let's see if we can get it to look good. Okay, so back to the darkest it gets is right there. So we always knock it up to 1.
Right.
And that's still not super bad for the A7S3 at those settings. Probably I could go down on the ISO for the A7S3 and have the brighter lights.
Right.
But I always try to configure it for the darkest possible.
Yeah.
So that really our key light and our hair lights have the maximum impact on our lighting, as well as the background is less prominent in the viewer's view, therefore bringing more focus to the foreground and to the subject.
Right.
I want it to be where the background is less a part of the story than a main character.
Yeah.
You know, we could brighten it up a lot and then the whole place would be a character in the story
Well,
quite a lot more.
one
But
of the-
I want it to be, a dark place can be a type of character too though, right?
Sure. One of the big things about getting good shots is creating separation from your subject to whatever's behind them. Making it to where basically whatever behind them like kind of just goes away and the subject's the most important thing.
Separation between the foreground and background.
Right, and so that's why dynamic range is so important in video, is because you want you want to have differences in those lights and shadows and all of those things. You don't want it to look flat, is what you're trying to get away from, really.
Yeah, the maximum amount of gradations possible and the maximum amount of data that your sensor is imaging from all of those areas.
Right.
So really, you don't want to blow it out too much and you don't want to underexpose, you know? That's why there's that 0 EV thing.
Right, exactly.
So that you can know that information. The camera will tell you. The camera's not always 100% like right on though, honestly.
Sure.
Yeah,
Like
when
the-
you walk through the doorway, it kind of changed a little bit.
So,
Well, it's probably got something going on still with the either auto exposure, auto white balance, or something like that. But no, it's still pretty much the same. You could see, like when he went through the threshold, you could see a little bit of a change, right? It's pretty blown out though. You can see him only marginally. He's bokeh.
yeah.
He's bokeh. You've become Tone.
Which is what you want. You don't want to but you do want to see like the depth.
Right.
Like the depth is what's important. Really, is like
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
it doesn't all just look like one flat camera phone shot or whatever.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. So dynamic range is part of that, but also focus and defocus and the resulting bokeh.
Right.
the toniature that you're capable of producing with your lens and your distance from the lens and your amount of toniature factor capabilities.
Right.
Toniature.
Yeah, tone.
Tone.
Are you familiar with the tone? Again, shouts out to you, Camera Conspiracies. Referred to you probably almost every week, but it's hard to get away from the tone factor in life.
And it's important for everybody to know also that Sony is comprised of lizard people.
Which he spreads the word of, so we can appreciate him for that. Thank you, Casey, for that as well. Good point. Yeah. So all lizard people aside, though, these are configuration issues that a person has to deal with when they have out of control situations going on like we do.
Right.
So we talked about the GoPro. We talked about the. I didn't really mention the other thing about the GoPro, which is that sometimes it doesn't allow me to turn it on. I did mention that in a previous stream, though.
Yeah.
So I would just be harping, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
But that combined with the fact that they've taken away the ISO max and the other settings of the Pro, including shutter speed and, you know, all your manual control settings, essentially.
Right.
It's all been taken away
from the phone
within the app, which was the point of the app, essentially.
Right.
So, I think what I'm going to go with on this one is fuck you, GoPro.
Fuck you, GoPro!
Yeah, we'll go with fuck you, GoPro on that one.
Okay, sounds good.
Because it was there. We know it could happen. So now it's just... Now you're just being a dick, you know? Why you got to be a dick?
Right.
Why you gotta be...
Don't be a dick, bro.
I mean, at this point, camera phones like are really good right now. You know, like it's almost better than the GoPro's picture.
Oh yeah.
Well,
right out the bat, you know.
Well, depending on the camera phone.
Right. It depends on what camera phone you have.
That's
like if
the
you have a
thing.
newer camera
and depending
phone,
on the GoPro.
Yeah.
This GoPro, frankly, as far as like, you know, using this shot here, I mean, that shot would be a lot brighter with less noise on a newer GoPro.
True.
Each one, I think, has increased the image sensor to some degree. They're still pretty small, like 1-inch-ish.
Yeah.
But that's the GoPro Hero 5, and
That's
there's
right,
a GoPro
yeah.
Hero 9 out now. So
True. So I wonder how good they've gotten since.
the 9 is,
5.
I think the 9 is supposed to be the best in low light. I think.
Really?
I think. Don't quote me on that, though.
Right.
But you would have to imagine that they would have improved the low light capabilities from 4 models ago.
Right.
So, you know, the fact is that on something like an overhead shot, it's probably not terribly important, you know, unless I was like doing product demonstration and holding shit like right here all the time.
Right.
In which case I would just use the ZV-1, which has the product demonstration feature and can focus on the product even when you don't put it in front of your face.
Right.
So
And you
that's
might be
pretty
able
cool.
to, like with the ZV-1, there's an app, right, for Sony or?
Yeah, there is. Sony has a remote app that works to control all those functions.
Control all that shit.
Yeah, so if the ZV-1 was up there, I wouldn't be having these kind of bullshit issues. However, I don't think that the ZV-1 can be remotely turned on and off,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
which is a pretty cool feature of the GoPro app that still does work.
Right.
So probably today I didn't need to stand on the stool to turn the thing on. I should have at least checked if the app was
Tried
going to
it.
work, but the phone was already in video mode for the camera.
Yeah.
It was already over there on the gimbal for Derek's shot that we're now no longer in. I guess we could go back to, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, there it is, people. Your GoPro shot of the future.
Oh, I
Is
took it
now.
off. Hold on. Do it again. GoPro shot
it
of the
wasn't
future.
even in the quad or something, huh? There it is, people. Your
Beautiful.
GoPro shot of the future is now.
Okay. Now
you have-
switching back.
Yeah. I figured you would have had us in the quad view. What did you have us
Oh.
in?
I put it back over to the program view, and then whatever. They would have seen it. You guys see
So
everything.
while we were talking, they didn't even see us at all then, huh? They were just looking at the keyboard those last 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever you switched
I guess I
over
should
to
have
the
done a little more
overhead.
switching with the ATEM. See, that's That's what's hard about doing all
Yeah,
this
but
stuff, right?
they wouldn't have seen us in any of these other shots either. Like
We were on the A7S3 shot for a bit.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
that was in program, I think. So,
yeah,
we're not totally slacking. It's just that I just want to mention it because it's always the same story, right? We have more than one job at the same time going on between each of us, frankly. So, you're directing with the Slingstudio's level, and I'm essentially directing second level with the ATEM's level when we're in the control room as well.
Right.
So, and then of course, once I have the remote switching capability for the ATEM, which is coming in the future here, we'll also be able to be remote switching that while I'm anywhere.
Right.
Within the quadrant or whatever we have in program,
Yeah, so we'll have two remote switching situations with our video, with both of our video platforms here.
Exactly. We'll have two remote switching, or one person could hold them both, and then you have both layers.
And then
you're like a transformer. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I just need to attach tablets all over myself.
Yep.
Mr. Tablet Hands.
Yeah. You can control this mixer, control the ATEM, and then of course the smart features with the room with another tablet, and so we're looking at several tablets to get this job done.
4 tablets later.
Yeah. Hope your tablature is in order.
That's right.
Because if you don't have your tablets popping, then you might be tablet.
You're fucked.
On some of these things, they specifically say that the iPad or iPhone is what the app works on. Thankfully, in the case of the Behringer apps, they work on Android as well.
Oh, nice.
I'm not sure whether that's the case with all the other stuff. So you always have the potential for it to be Apple-only functionalities.
So beware.
But we have that covered here at Infinity Times Infinity Studios. We do have 2 iPads because Philip has his and I have the one that's here in the studio all the time. Had to buy it to control the aux box with, and then the aux box, of course, had an Android app eventually, and then an app for PC and Mac.
Yeah.
So it was essentially an unnecessary purchase, but an iPad can be used for so many things in the studio. There's Logic Remote. If we were to record within Logic as a DAW, I would also be able to use the iPad as a remote for the Logic DAW. That would be the same level of remote functionality as using the remote for the Behringer X32.
Yeah.
Where
That's nice.
you can stop, start, you can arm tracks and all that. Everything that you see essentially in the DAW is there in the remote.
That's cool.
So
yeah,
I mean, the future is now, and the future is also in the future.
Yeah. So the Slingstudio only works with Apple.
Future is meow.
The Slingstudio only works with Apple. So
remember that.
So what?
So that's
I bought
the thing
tablet
about,
to get the Slingstudio, basically. I was
yeah. That's the thing about the Slingstudio console app, is that there's no other version other than the one that's for an Apple device. So that's
something that you should think
about.
about.
That's one of our limitations, right? Now, we don't know whether that has since been rectified as well.
Right.
It could be that they have an Android or Windows Slingstudio console available now.
Yeah.
But we haven't really even checked.
All I know is that the Slingstudio is always back ordered. Like, people are like...
Yeah, they must be in somewhat short supply or high demand or both.
Yeah.
Because they are always out, and the ATEM is frequently out as well.
Yeah.
So, perhaps with the rise of doing things in a remote location, there's had to have been a lot more of this type of setup happening.
Right.
So, that's why we do this stream for you folks out there in Streamland, because we want you also to be able to stream with the proficiency and svelte accuracy of Master Phil or a Platinum D or a DJ Dank.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to convey your message to the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have the world conveyances in order, and we are continually enhancing and fine-tuning those conveyances as well.
Yeah. Something that I want to see...
Only the finest tunes.
Something that I want to see more, a little bit like in the near future is starting to work with Zoom a little bit and like trying to broadcast through Zoom. So like webcasting through Zoom and whatnot. It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that's one of the layers of the configuration aspect of this, right? So in terms of talking about workflows, that's absolutely appropriate subject matter for this particular stream, because that's yet another layer that we're actually dealing with right now. We have potential clients who are interested in a Zoom call that we essentially kind of record, hopefully without having to officiate and intervene on. So, you know, that's another layer, right? Whether they can maintain control of the administrative functions within the Zoom call while we're using some kind of streaming platform or switcher or something to record their Zoom call that's happening at that time.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Like, can we like use the Slingstudio through a capture card to capture in Zoom like high quality, you know, like multi-camera type stuff, which I feel like Zoom is mostly, you know, they're using one camera angle.
Right.
Most people are.
Indeed. But you're right, though. I mean, in terms of theory, I think once we have the HDMI out from the Slingstudio hub going into a capture card, then theoretically
it would capture into Zoom a multicam shot.
Indeed. We could have Zoom as one of 4 quadrants, I think, and have other things in the other 3, or any arrangement of overlays in almost any orientation because of the Slingstudio's flexibility in their tiling.
Right.
So
that's nice.
And so now what we're talking about is a way more interactive stream where we could have Zoom callers in, people that we can actually interact with, see even, and like still do our stream and interview like bands, interview people. Like they don't even have to leave their house. We just interview them. You know,
take calls, man.
Right.
yeah.
Exactly. Like I've got, you know.
We're just
REO Speedwagon.
Yeah.
I got, you know,
REO Speed
Les
Dealer.
Claypool on the line here, or whatever. It's like, can you show me that thing where you're like doing the thing?
12
Man, please, Les, feed me some of your amazing powers.
That's right.
Somehow through osmosis,
Zoom.
let me absorb the sickness of your fucking bass stroke, bro. Oh man,
Yeah.
Les Claypool,
Yeah.
Primus. I don't know. Maybe I'm a huge
Give
fan
us
or
a shout,
something, but
guys.
Yeah.
send our way the vibes that are necessary for people like Les Claypool, or you know, if it has to be Roger Waters or you know,
Any of those guys.
maybe Jimmy Page, you know, Robert Plant, something like that.
They live around here, you know, like little summer homes and shit.
You know who does live around here, who has the British version of the name Robert, is Rupert Neve.
Oh, really?
The guy who designed Neve consoles and everything.
He lives here around here?
Yeah, Rupert Neve is a Texas Hill Country resident.
We could interview him. Let's go find out.
Yeah, we
His
could Zoom
information.
call,
We'll Zoom call
his
him.
ass.
We'll say, Rupert?
Yeah, Mr. Neve, how did your shit get so warm and fuzzy and goodness?
Yeah, why is it that everybody uses your console?
How did you do it? How did you make the Neve so creamy goodness?
Uh-huh.
That's what I would like to say to Rupert Neve.
That's cool.
And he would say, analog circuitry, my dear boy.
Anal log.
Yeah, the brown note, if you will.
Okay, so we're expanding.
This
We're
is
doing
cool.
all sorts
See,
of
you can
stuff.
walk off camera and we can still talk because you still have your mic on.
Derek
yeah.
still has his mic on. He's going to get Dr. Pepper or something. I don't know.
That's right, chugging.
Yeah. He just has to hide off camera once every 3 minutes or so.
Yeah. So today,
I guess he feels like maybe vaping on camera isn't cool or something. Like he's
Oh,
vaping on camera is definitely cool.
checking your phone on camera, probably.
Yeah,
What do you think?
that's what it is.
Okay.
Remember, he's the professor of pussy.
I'm the phone checker.
Yes. All
Plus, the
right.
professorship has its dedication issues.
So it's come down to the end of the line here.
All right.
We have the option to jam if we want to or not.
Yeah.
So
We noticed last week that it sounded like shit with lavalier mics. So now, instead of fixing or doing anything about that, we're going to do that again. And I don't even have
Without the phones,
most of it
though.
on over there. So all that's going to be being done at the end also.
So like, but without the phones, we're trying to eliminate the interference and see what.
Oh yeah. Well, no, it's still going to sound like shit because it's not full range.
Oh yeah. Okay.
The sounding like shit part of the interference and beeping stuff, that's probably going to go away. However, you know, who's to say that this amount of distance is enough for it to not still be there?
Huh.
Because it's quite strong interference whenever a phone receives a signal, like a text.
Mm-hmm.
A microphone or a speaker will pick it up from a good distance.
Right.
If you've ever been listening to or your computer speakers or something and you receive a text, you'll hear it through those as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll be good.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there we go.
Well,
Here we go again, right?
there we go.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Man your positions.
Let me think about how exactly I'm going to do mine. I think I turn this on.
The old switcheroo, guys.
So let's see, went out to mix bus 5 and 6, I think. There they are. Oh, that's going to be putting my music into the signal. We should be hearing it actually. Oh, I didn't turn the amp on yet.
This guy.
No, over here and all this
Oh, okay.
stuff. So yeah, I'll turn these down and do that. This is what happens when they hit me with it right at the end, guys.
Okay. Jam session number 2.
Here comes music.
Whenever we get to jam session number 100,
Hey, listen, it's our jam
We'll be
from
good.
last time.
Oh, nice.
is that our jam from last time? Dun, dun, dun.
All right, apparently we're not going with that.
Okay. There we go. Here we are.
have the overhead on in here?
Yes.
Nice.
That is the feed from the here.
Awesome.
What do you think of that? It's pretty good,
Yeah,
right?
it looks good.
I like the lights. You know,
Yeah.
you can see nothing's blown out too bad on the lights, but the white ones are getting pretty bright. But that's at the lowest setting that you can go. So.
Let's do another song. I'm gonna do all black keys.
I'm gonna change patches too.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice job, man. That was good.
All right.
Probably
That was
sounded
fun.
terrible again, but hey, you know,
about
it's
to find
fun.
out.
It's
Yeah,
fun
yeah.
stuff.
Every time it's something different, something new. We're just like going off the cuff, right?
Off of the cuff.
Yes.
Yeah, using patches that we've never used and doing stuff we've never done, you know?
Patches
So,
O'Houlihan.
that's how we do.
That's right.
That's how we do them. Do we catch them and how?
Okay.
Do we cheat them and how?
Yeah,
The law
so we
firm.
cheat 'em and how.
The law firm of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. So that's what we'll go with.
Cheat him.
Okay. So that's the end of our stream.
Thank you.
Infinity times
Thank you for being here.
infinitystudios.com.
.com.
Go there. You'll see our boy Derek Townsend along with Roscoe's grandchild, Steve King. We have Ethan Loomis on there.
All
we
the
got
cool kids.
all of our gear. You know, if you want to see what we have been working with, it's a huge.
It's a very
amount of
big gear list on there, and then a bunch of other stuff about the studio. There's a page about the news and what's been going on, like a blog sort of a page, and then my contact information is there.
Contact info.
I know you'll all be beating down the door now after having heard our beautiful performance.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And and we're going to keep working on our projects. Derek and Dan have their projects gone. They have 49 songs, maybe even 50.
Shit.
Yeah, you might hear some of them eventually.
Yeah, some of them just creep into the stream.
Sometimes, maybe 2 or 3 of them happened today. As a matter of fact.
Right.
But
They might have been leaked.
We didn't feed them fully, but they may have leaked a bit.
Yeah.
A little dribble.
Right.
Uranus dribble.
All of it has to do with Uranus. So.
Yeah. And dribbling.
Pluto, Neptune, other planets.
Yeah.
Space.
Every single one of them.
Oceans.
Yeah. Space and
Travel.
ocean. Yeah.
Underground.
That's right.
So-
all of these things.
So we're producing music, having fun, doing these live streams, coming back every Saturday. Round 10. You guys are always here around 10, right?
Yeah.
Usually we got Derek in the house, which is great. So, every Saturday at 10, anything else that we've been thinking about doing?
Yeah, like I said, we talked a little bit earlier about what we're going to do for the future, right? We talked about our series on the analogousness of video and audio.
Right.
Stuff
We're
like
going to be comparing, contrasting video and audio. Me and Dan have
Analogs.
had these crazy discussions about how close the concepts can actually be.
Well, like we talked about today with dynamic range, that though there are many parallels that are just like that. The actual terms exist in both, and they mean almost similar things, or even if they don't, we'll explain what the differences are and how there are parallels.
Explained.
We'll explain. But in order for you to get that, you got to be here next time. Infinity times Infinity Studios.
Oh, Infinity!
Out.